Hey folks, my guest today is Chafik. He's the founder of Brainboard and former CTO of Scaleway, the French cloud provider. He's an engineer with 15 years of experience in building infrastructures at large scales and solving problems. Now building Brainboard.co, visually build and manage your cloud infrastructure. Chafik, you ready to take us to the top?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me who's paying for this. Who's paying for your tool today?
So the customers that we have are mainly cloud architects. When I say cloud architects, are engineers building infrastructures inside companies. So because, just to give an overview of these people, as I'm an engineer the Brainboard comes from our own frustration. So we got a lot of tools to deal with infrastructures, and we got a lot of cloud services, and the engineers struggle between both of them and glue the different tools and processes to make things work inside companies. So Brainboard make it easier. You got one unique platform where engineers can build their infrastructures.
Interesting. Okay, and what do they pay on average to use the tool per month?
Yes, it's per month. The pricing plan is per user per month. So we want it to be predictable. One of the pain points now using the cloud is the costs and the prices are unpredictable. When you use cloud infrastructures, you do not know how much we're going to pay. And we wanted to do it the other way around. It's predictable, it's paid per user per month, and simple and easy.
So Shafik, when you look at all your customers today, what's the average company paying you per month, would you say?
Yeah, the average company is between 12 and 15K a month.
Okay. So you're an enterprise sales motion then?
Yeah, we can say it's still SaaS. We are not in that enterprise module. It's still SaaS, but it's between 12 and 15K.
Well, yeah, you can be SaaS and selling to enterprises. I'm just saying your price point is high where it's an enterprise sales motion.
That's true. Yes.
Interesting. Okay, put this on a timeline for me. When did you launch the business?
We launched it in 2019. So actually, we started working on 2019 and we launched in January 2020.
Okay. And how did you fund yourself in between those 12 months when you had no revenue?
Yeah, this is an interesting question. It is our own funding. So I founded Brainboard with my co-founder, Jeremy. So we were self-funded and we stayed like that for almost 2 years. Then when we realized that we got a lot of traction, we got paying customers, and we said, okay, now it's time to move on. And we raised funds last year.
Okay, so in 2021, you raised, how much did you raise in 2021?
We raised more than 1.2 million USD.
Okay, and that's sort of your seed round or pre-seed?
Yeah, we call it pre-seed round. So this is like to build the first team and get the first team, build a product for enterprises. So that's why we call it pre-seed. We're not seed yet.
Awesome. And how did you manage dilution? What cap did you raise at, or what valuation did you raise at?
Yeah, this is one of the biggest questions, when you start fundraising is economics and control. And the valuation is more than 4 million. So
post money or pre?
Pre-money.
Pre-money. So 5.2 post.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so
you have ASOPs and so on, but this is something similar.
Yeah, so you sold about 20% of the business, something like that.
Not that much, but close to that.
Yeah, very cool. Now, you mentioned you guys funded it yourself at the beginning. How much of your own capital did you put in?
Actually, we had like more than 150K.
Wow.
Each.
And what? Oh, so 300,000 total.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time. You can see what it changed over the past 88 days and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right. So the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So Traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise. They sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. How did you guys get that money? Were you guys like rich, or your parents are wealthy, or what? You had an early exit or in high school, or what?
None of that. We were based in France, and we got a system in France. When you work for more than 6 years, you can take like 2 years off, and you got all 60%, something like that, of your salary. So we took advantage of that. We used it to fund ourselves, which means we had like 60% of the former salary to fund ourselves for 2 years.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. Talk to me about customers today. How many customers are paying you?
Yeah, we do not have a lot of customers now. We are just starting. So we have like more than 10 customers. And we are like, we joined YC a month ago, 2 months ago. And we are noticing a lot of an increase in the users that we have and the increase of the paying customers. So the first, we got a few customers. Now we have more than 10, and we're seeing like growth coming. And we got a very interesting customers that we are talking to, prospects that we are talking to, that we hope to close in the near future, in the next coming days.
That's awesome. I mean, can I take 10 customers times the ARPU you told me earlier of 12,000 a month? You guys are doing about $120,000 a month right now in revenue.
Yeah, not exactly that, but something similar, because we have kind of discount for the first customers because they accept to test the product, give us feedback. So it depends, but this is like the pricing palette, we can say.
But what are you actually doing right now in terms of MRR? Is it more like $100,000?
And yeah, not that bad, not that much.
Lower.
Thousands, yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
so I asked you earlier what your average price point was. You said $12,000, but if you have 10 customers today, then you have 120 grand. So you're lower because you're onboarding people. You're just getting started. I get that, but what is monthly revenue today? Is it like more like 40, 50,000?
Yes, something like that. Yeah.
I see. Okay. So how do you think about discounting these early folks? You're giving big 50, 60% discounts.
It depends. It really depends on the customer and the number of seats they take. As we price per seat, so like for a customer taking 50 seats, it's not the same thing for a customer taking 5 seats. So what we usually do, we apply between 15 and 25%. And but in return, we take either an engagement for a year, or they accept to give us a regular feedback, like we do with them regular points, like meetings, either once a month or once each 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it depends on how we work with them. And some of them, they propose for us to be partners with. So we started this partnership. We didn't thought about it at the beginning, but now as we're seeing people and companies asking for it, so we started our first partnership a week ago.
Very cool. Okay, so this makes sense. So if you're doing about $40,000 a month today in revenue, where were you a year ago, so we can calculate growth rate?
In 2023.
No, a year ago.
A year ago, we were like $100. We were like 200 a month. Yeah, because we hadn't that much customers because we didn't do any sales actions. So we started really sales actions in the last 5 months, actually.
I see. So this is interesting. A lot of people struggle going to market and selling high priced things to the enterprise as their first 10 customers. How have you been able to do that? I mean, that's not easy. Are you reaching out to them on LinkedIn? How are they finding you?
Yeah, this is a yeah, good question. You mentioned LinkedIn. Yes, LinkedIn is working a lot for us. I mean, actually, because we are talking to experts, cloud architects, and managers, and these people are present in LinkedIn because they work with LinkedIn. When you are looking for a job, you put it on LinkedIn. When you get a promotion, you put it on LinkedIn. And like LinkedIn works, that is the most we can say useful channel for us. And yeah, just to answer your question directly, because we are in an existing market. The cloud market is more than 300 billion in revenue in a year. So, and these companies are already paying a lot for the cloud providers. So what we offer is we offer to them to save money and time for their engineers.
But
So
but what does the LinkedIn, you have to get their attention. So what does the initial LinkedIn message sound like? What's the job title you're targeting and what's the text or the message sound like?
Yes. So what we ask first is feedback. So this is our strategy. And we are honestly looking for feedback.
Yeah, but Shafik, make that real for me, right? You're reaching out to someone you don't know on LinkedIn. If you just say give us feedback, they're not going to reply. What does the message actually sound like?
Actually, this is work. This is what we do.
Your text literally says give us feedback, period, and you get replies.
Not that feedback period, but we say I'm interested in your feedback in a tool that I created that solves ABC. And
well, what is ABC?
ABC is solving, designing cloud architecture, designing and building and managing cloud infrastructures.
Okay. And do you give them any, what's the next step? What's the call to action? A phone call, a Zoom call, an email?
They first start by testing the product. Then we suggest
you say click here to sign up to test the product and they'll go sign up.
That's true.
Okay. And then what?
Then they test the product and they come back to us with a lot of feedbacks. Then we can schedule a call. Usually we schedule a demo because they see a part of the product, but not the entire product. So we schedule a demo to show them how things work. And we talk to them about their pain points, about how they work, the things they want to accelerate in their process. And we try to match the value we provide with their way of doing things.
Okay. And when do you tell them the big thing? You say it's time to start paying. It's $4,000 a month. How do you get them to start paying?
Actually, yeah, this is like sales. Now we enter in the sales process, the classic one. Like we talk to decision makers, and as we have an approval, like our strategy is bottom up. So we talk with the users. Once it's validated, when we talk with decision makers, it's easier. We say, your users is using the product, they're satisfied, this is how it costs. We can start a POC with you, and this is how we do it usually. We start POC for 14 days, they are happy, they validate, and they
How much does the POC cost?
The POC is free. We do it for free.
Okay, and then what happens at the end of 14 days?
So they either buy or not.
Got it. So, but they know going into the POC what the cost is going to be at the end of it. So you set the expectation.
That's true. Like, for example, you take 10 users, it's going to cost you 12K a year. And this is predictable. There is no hidden cost. We do the POC for free, and there is no risk. So when we
the risk is their time. The risk is their time engaging with you, right?
That's true. This is the only risk.
So in the last 6 months, how many free 14-day POCs have you done?
Whoa, we have done like more than 100.
Wow. Okay, so 100 of which 10 have converted to paid.
That's true.
Okay, that's not a bad conversion rate, so that's working nicely. How are you doing this? How are you staffing this? What's your team size today?
We are 6. We are not that big. We are 6 people, and we are trying to specialize. I have a tech background, but now I'm doing mainly sales. Sales, a little bit of marketing. We got people in marketing, one in sales with me as well, and the others are developers.
Mm-hmm. Now you raised 1.2 million total, plus another 175,000 from YC. Is that right?
That's true.
Okay, and YC just recently, they take 7%, right?
Yes.
And why did you decide that that was the right path for you guys? That's obviously a lot of dilution for a small check, considering you guys already had $40,000 a month in revenue.
Yeah, because we wanted to go to the US. We wanted to target the US market, and we think that this is like the simplest shortcut that we can have. Going to YC, understanding how it works, being there, visible there, and also we wanted to, we are tech founders. We wanted this like a boot camp of YC to be able to learn different things, to do things differently, and that wasn't an easy decision for us. So we talked with a lot of people that have done YC to understand the real value. So what helped our decision is first network. It helps a lot. Second, it's really nice to be backed by YC in the US. And the third point is the learning.
Chafik, how did you get your pre-seed investors on board with this? They wrote you a $1.2 million check at a $4 million valuation pre-money. You just gave YC $175,000 check at a $2.4 million valuation. So it's almost half the valuation you already raised at from pre-seed investors. How did that make the pre-seed investors feel?
They're comfortable with it. I mean, the investors we have, they already know the systems. Like, our context is we are in France. It's a French company. And a lot of companies from France move to the US and do YC. So investors are already familiar with that. It's like, and they know that if you do YC, it's like you have more chance to succeed in the business than when you do it alone and in Europe.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see what happens. Interesting dynamics at play here. We're certainly rooting for you. In the meantime, though, let's wrap up with the famous five. Number one, what's your favorite business book?
My favorite business book is Predictable Revenue.
Predicted. That's a good one. Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Sorry?
Is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Nope.
Okay. Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building Brainboard?
Online tool, maybe for building Brainboard, maybe Notion.
Okay. Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
Not that much, maybe 6, usually
Okay.
6, between 5 and 6.
That's not bad. And how old are you, Chafik?
I'm 40. I turned 40 this year. Yeah.
40?
Yes.
Okay. And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
Yeah, I'm married with a kid.
Very cool. Okay. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
Build Brainboard. This is something that I really wish I had the chance to do when I was 20.
Guys, there you have it. Brainboard.co launched back in 2019, did a 1.2 pre-seed round at a 4 million pre-money valuation. They grew from about $1,000 a month in revenue to over $40,000 a month in revenue now today, and onboarding their first 10 enterprise customers after doing over 100 free POCs. The system seems to be working. Just went into YC as well as team of 6. We'll see what happens. Chafik, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thanks a lot, Nathan, and have a nice weekend.
All right, guys, cut. Chafik, what do you think? You have fun?
Sorry?
Did you have fun?
Yes, that was great. Really great. I really like it.
Awesome. There's so many founders struggling with how to write a POC when they're just starting to land enterprise accounts. Is there a template or something that you use that I could attach to this interview to give more value back to founders?
Yeah, the template, what I suggest, what I advise is to always do a use case that talks to the customer.
Yeah, no, I agree. People know that, but it's really helpful to see a real example. Do you have like an old POC that you use that we could attach as a template to the interview?
We do not have a written one because we have only one. We didn't write down the POC how we do it. So
no. I'm not asking for a how you do it. I'm actually asking for the actual. You did 100 of them so far. Can we attach an actual POC, like an old one that you used to the interview?
I mean, you are talking about customer, right? Prospect or customer? Or,
well, we would remove the customer name from the document.
Okay, yeah, I can share with you that.
Okay, I'll email you and ask for that. That'll make the interview way more valuable. I appreciate that.
Yes, with pleasure.
Okay, great chatting with you. Talk soon.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.